All right, this week the Supreme Court is expected to announce their landmark ruling on whether President Obama's health care law overhaul lives or dies or survives in pieces. How will the GOP react if it is upheld or thrown out? Joining us right now is House Majority Whip Congressman Kevin McCarthy's here. With him is Chairman of the House Republican Conference, Texas Congressman Jeb Hensarling. We get you on before, but rarely together in studio. A special break for us. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for
First off, Congressman, the word from the Speaker of the House was, if it is struck down, no spiking the football.
No, I mean, you want to see what the court decides, what's their reaction, and then whatever we have to do after that. So
right.
We'll read the decision and move from there.
Congressman, what does your gut tell you, Congressman Hensarling?
My gut tells me I don't know what the Supreme Court is going to do. But I do agree with Kevin. I mean, what's the most important thing is the American people still want to make sure that they have patient-centered health care where they make decisions, that they get quality health care at a price they can afford. And for the majority of American people, that means the president's health care program has to go away.
You know, Valerie Jarrett said over the weekend, I'll just summarize. She said essentially the reason why it's not popular is because Republicans kept running it down, and they've been more effective in running it down than we have been promoting it.
Look, it's not popular because what's in it? The taxes, 20 million will not be able to keep their health care, and the president promised that. Their own number says it's going to cost another $1.7 trillion. Then you got that whole board, the IPAB, 15 people, unelected, that's going to regulate and decide what you're going to get in Medicare.
So the so-called death panels.
Exactly. And it cuts $500 billion from Medicare in a time when Medicare isn't even solvent. That's what he does.
Which the president has said before, Medicare and Medicaid, the entitlements have to be addressed, but he has not addressed them. Congressman, you do know that there are parts of this that are popular. For most people, they like the fact that kids can stay on their health care plan until they're 26. Other people say that seems like an American thing to do to keep people with pre-existing conditions and give them access to health care. So even though the plan is not popular, those things are. What do you expect to do about that?
Well, there are some provisions that the major insurance companies that insure employer-based health insurance, many of them have already announced that they plan to keep a number of these provisions. But I think, again, what's most important is let's not make the mistakes of the past, which is to rush through a 2,800-page bill in a matter of weeks behind closed doors. We're still learning more about the behind closed doors shenanigans that took place with respect to the pharmaceutical company. So step number one is going to be let's listen to the American people and, you know, employ the Hippocratic Oath. First, do no harm. Again, people by and large were happy with the quality of their health insurance. It was the affordability. The president promised us if we voted for his health care plan, it would become more affordable, yet the average family of four is paying $2,200 more for a policy than they were before ObamaCare.
All right, we have a lot to talk about this week, so let's talk about Fast and Furious, because you could be calling the Attorney General out in contempt of Congress this week if he doesn't, in fact, supply the documents that's been requested. Elijah Cummings, a leadership position, ranking member on that very committee of oversight, had this to say about that possibility.
He's already turned over 7,600 documents, gone through millions of emails, and has even given up what's called internal deliberative documents. These are types of documents that the attorney generals over and over, years after year after year, have held close to them, but themselves and their offices.
So he hasn't done enough. We know that clearly. Do you expect him to be held? Did this come to a vote in Congress, in the House?
Unless he brings the documents forward. Look, it wasn't just Republicans that asked for these documents, Democrats too. Remember what's happened here.
About 30.
Yeah, an American died. An American citizen died based upon the actions of the American government. The holder announces, and it gets the president to executive decision based upon 24 hours before bringing the documents forward. Why is that? You know, Nixon did it. When he did it, it was wrong. And it's wrong to do it now. I think people have a right to know why it transferred and why is an American citizen dead. Why are we afraid of providing the documents?
And, Congressman, what did this executive privilege do to this whole debate?
Well, one, it's something that the president threw in at the 11th hour, if not the 11th hour plus 30. And it begs the question, well, we thought that the Oval Office was not involved. How can you exercise executive privilege now over documents that have been discussed for months and months and months? And so in some respects, it's kind of like the White House put themselves front and center in the middle of this. Of course, I don't know. I suppose the cynic in me says if I was the president and I'd presided over this economy for 3.5 years, I'd find any way to change the subject whatsoever.
It's just going to be one of those weeks we're not going to forget.
Remember, they first said they knew nothing about Fast and Furious. Then they had to go back and say, oh, no, we did.
And then the higher-ups said, we never read the emails. But between Obamacare, the Arizona law, what's happening over in Egypt, and, of course, contempt of Congress, this is going to be one of those weeks we're not going to forget anything.
We're still sitting with unemployment above 8%. When the president said stimulus passed, it never happened. 40 consecutive months.
Congressman Kevin McCarthy, Congressman Jeb Hensarling, thanks so much for coming in studio. And if you have any problems getting around New York, you just let me know.
All right.
Will do.
I have a few tokens. All right.